All right, hello and welcome back to Best Bets. What's going on? I am Matt O'Leary alongside Newsday's Joe Manniello. Joe, how you doing this week?
Doing good, Matt. How are you?
Doing pretty good. It was a tough week for you last week, Joe. 1-4, which brings your record to 29-26. I went 3-2, which brings me up to 22, 32, and 1. It was definitely a tough week of picking, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was a tough week, and as I told you, I should have stuck with my original thought, like you had Baltimore and New England, but I took the points in those games, and it burned me. But that's the way it is. A lot of overthinking and second guessing.
Oh, 100%, which again, that leads us into this week. I can't believe we're up to week 12 already.
I know, it's crazy.
It's flown by, but let's start with the Jets. They are taking on the Raiders. The Raiders are favored in this game by 3 points. Who do you like here?
Yeah, I think the line might even be down to 2.5, but I'll gladly take the 3 if that's what you have. I like the Jets a lot in this game. I think they're going to win the game. I think it's very similar to the Jets Cowboys game a few weeks ago when the Cowboys came in overlooking the Jets. The next week they were playing the Eagles. I think the same situations here with the Raiders. Gruden's a great coach, and I love what he's done there. But next week they're at Kansas City, so they're probably thinking, all right, we're 6-4. We're going to beat the Jets. They stink, and then we're going to play the Chiefs for first place. So I don't know how serious they're taking the Jets. I've been tweeting that the Jets are going to win this game. A lot of people are telling me I'm crazy. It's not an overreaction to the last 2 weeks. I don't think the Jets are a very good team, but they're playing well right now. I mean, beating the Giants and the Redskins does not mean a lot, but I think when you win, when you win a few games, it's contagious. Teammates build off of that, and excuse me, I think Adam Gase getting that vote of confidence from Christopher Johnson. I think the players are rallying around him, and they'll be home. I don't think the Raiders, the pass defense isn't that good. One of the worst in the league. I think Darnold will have a big game. And the biggest reason the Raiders are 6-4 is their run game. And the Jets are number 1 against the run. So I think if the Jets can stop the run, they can limit Derek Carr enough. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think the Raiders are a lock. I don't think the Jets are a lock. I think it's a 23-20 kind of game, 27-24. But I like the Jets a lot at home. Same kind of situation with the Raiders overlooking them the way the Cowboys did. And also the 1 p.m. West Coast trip for early start for a West Coast team. I think that's always a factor. So I think the Jets pull up the mini upset at home. So Jets +3.
Okay. See, I agree with your points, especially with the 1 o'clock start and the West Coast teams usually struggling. But when I look at these two teams, I just think the Raiders are more talented on both sides of the ball. Yes, they really rely heavily on their run game, but offensively, I mean, throwing the ball, Derek Carr's looked pretty good this year. He has a very high completion percentage. Waller's looked really good. I'm not sure who the Jets are going to have cover the tight end. And there's a lot of pieces on that offense that I think they're going to be able to figure something out. And at the end of the day, I think they're better coached too. So I'm going to take the Raiders in this game. I think they're going to be able to win. If it's 2.5 or 3, I think they win this game by maybe like 4 or 5 points. I think it'll be close, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets won. I'm just a little bit more confident in the Raiders right now than I am with the Jets.
Gotcha.
Okay, so with that, let's move over to the other team in New York. The New York Giants are taking on the Bears. Spread in this one is 6.5. Who do you like here?
Yeah, this is one of those games where I don't really want to pick. I mean, the Giants' defense is bad. The Bears' offense is bad. But it's getting 6.5 points. It just feels like it's too many points. The Giants are off a bye. So I'll kind of give them the benefit of the doubt and hope they figure something out during the bye week. I don't even know who's starting for the Bears, if it's Trubisky or
Chase Daniel.
Right now.
Chase Daniel.
I was thinking Daniel Jones. Yeah, Chase Daniel Jones. Yeah, Chase Daniel. I mean, the Bears' offense is just so bad. I mean, I took them last week as my lock of the week at the Rams, and you had them too.
Yep.
And they were covering the whole game until like a late touchdown, and then Trubisky didn't play the final series. Who knows what's going on with him? So I just think there's too many question marks with the Bears' offense that for them to win by 7 points seems like it's not that likely to happen. So I'll take the Giants getting 6.5. I think. Hopefully the defense does enough, and I think Daniel Jones, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, which has been an issue with him,
right?
Even though he's played well, a lot of touchdowns. I just think that 7 points is way too much, and hoping the Giants defense can do something. And also the Bears are playing the Lions on Thanksgiving, so maybe they're kind of looking ahead to that game as well 4 days later, overlooking the 2-win Giants team. So I'll take the 6.5 with the Giants.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on this one. I think 6.5 is way too many points. This Bears offense is just they're flat out bad. And I know the Giants defense has struggled and they've given up a ton of big plays and a ton of yards, but I'm just more confident in the Giants defense than the Bears offense, as crazy as that might sound. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think the Bears probably eventually win this, but I think it's going to be close, like a 20-17 kind of game. I just don't see it getting to the point where the Bears are winning by a touchdown or more.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would just caution anyone listening not to bet on this game, because I could totally see the Bears like getting like a late front door cover, like the way the Rams did, like, Tariq Cohen taking like a screen pass 50 yards to the house, and all of a sudden it's a 10-point win instead of a 3-point win. But you got to take the points. I agree.
Yeah, I don't love picking this game either, but if I had to make the choice, I'm going Giants for sure. Okay, for game of the week, we have the Packers and the 49ers. Niners are favored by 3. Who do you like here, Joe?
Yeah, it's a great game. This game was actually flexed into prime time a couple weeks ago. They moved the Seattle-Philly game to 1 o'clock. I like the Niners in this game. I know that a lot of people say, anytime you get points with Aaron Rodgers, it's an automatic pick, and I get that logic. He's great. You never want to doubt him, but I think people still don't realize how good this Niners defense is. I think that Seahawks game is a little bit misleading. Obviously, credit to the Seahawks. They gutted it out and they won. But the Seahawks, the 49ers defense wasn't why they lost that game. Garoppolo had some bad passes, a lot of drops, and they lost Sanders early in the game. They didn't have Kittle, so there was a lot going against the Niners in that game. And I just think that the Packers, I think they're a little bit overrated. I mean, they've had a ton of close games. They should have lost to the Lions in that crazy Monday night game. They were lucky to beat the Panthers in that goal line stop against McCaffrey. Even like their big wins against the Raiders early in that game was a close game. And there's so many games you can look back on with the Packers. They're 8-2, but I don't think they're like a dominant 8-2. And they are off the bye, which helps. And the Niners just had a tough game against the Cardinals. So I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a really good game. I just don't see the Packers have trouble stopping the run. I think Kyle Shanahan will scheme with Tevin Coleman, and I'm not sure if Breed is healthy or not, but I think the offensive line is getting healthy. I think they'll have a big game on the ground. I also think that Bosa and the pass rush will frustrate Rodgers enough to limit the big plays. So I like the Niners in a close, exciting game, 24-20 kind of game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Same logic for me too. Usually when, like you said, Aaron Rodgers is getting points, you go with him. But in this case, I really like the Niners defense a ton. I think they're going to get to him and cause some pressure. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring a game as some people are thinking it's going to be. I think it's going to be similar to what you said, maybe like 24-20 in that range, or 24-17. But nonetheless, I think Jimmy G is going to do just enough offensively. They're going to play their style of football, where it's strong defense, with the game manager at quarterback. And I think at the end of the day, they win this one by between 4 and 6 points. We got ourselves an entertaining primetime game and another 49ers win.
Yeah, it should be a great game.
Okay, Joe, how about a best bet for this week?
All right, best bet. I thought about the Jets. I like the Titans this week, giving 3 or so at home against the Jaguars. Niners are a good team. Niners are a good play too, but it's hard with Rodgers. I'm going to go with the team I've actually only picked once this whole year. And I don't know if it's because earlier in the year I said they weren't that good and I was all on the Browns and anti-Ravens. But I'm going to go with the Ravens in primetime Monday night. I think it's -3 or -3.5 at the Rams. Second straight week picking against the Rams, but this is all about the Ravens. They showed me something on Sunday. I should have stuck with them, like I said. Lamar Jackson, I think he's like neck and neck now with Russell Wilson as the MVP. Mark Ingram. I mean, that whole team, the defense is a big reason why I was against them early in the year, and they've totally turned the corner. The linebackers, the pass rush, everything. Second, they're all playing great. I think they're going to frustrate Jared Goff and that overmatched offensive line. Todd Gurley isn't the same player he used to be. And I think the Rams, they're just getting by. They're lucky to barely beat the Bears. I just don't think they're a dominant team anymore. And I just think this Ravens team looks like it's on a mission right now. I can see them almost winning out and being 14-2 the way they're playing. And they play the Niners the week later at home. So I just think that this Lamar Jackson, I don't see how any team's going to stop him unless, like what the Chargers did last year in the playoffs, or if you play him a second time. So this is the Rams' first time playing him. I just think it's going to be tough. Also, you got Marcus Peters, who's now with the Ravens, going against his former team, the Rams. So I like that little angle. Maybe he'll pick off Jared Goff and take it to the house. Another pick 6 for him. I just like the Ravens to win this game comfortably. Not a blowout because it's prime time and on the road, but at least by 7, maybe 10. So I'll take the Ravens to keep rolling to get to 9-2.
Joe, we have the same best bet this week. I'm also going with the Ravens. I love this game. I think Lamar Jackson's going to have a big day, and I really don't believe in Goff to be able to keep up with him. I mean, he looked bad again last week against the Bears. Granted, the Bears are a good defense, but he hasn't looked good at all this year. And I just think, like, for everything you just said, the Ravens, I think, should roll. I think they should win this game by maybe, like you said, 7 points. I think it'll be relatively close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, like you said, prime time on the road. But this Ravens team, they're just so well coached. Harbaugh's done a great job revamping this team and the offense with Lamar Jackson. And I just, he's going to be the MVP this year, Joe. And I can't pick against him, especially against the Rams, who's really underachieved this year.
Yeah, sometimes the 3.5 scares me. Like, I'd rather it be 3 or 2.5 because you never know. But I mean, if you told me, like, if you knew the score beforehand, I'd be more shocked if it was 23-20 than it was 34-20. I think there's a better chance Ravens win by 2 touchdowns than by a field goal. So I like this game a lot, obviously.
Okay, how about an upset this week?
All right, there's not many great games this week, as we talked about. To me, it's a pretty no-brainer kind of pick. It's almost like a scary line, but it's not even really an upset. Seahawks plus 1.5 at Philly. Twice before the season, when the Eagles needed to win, when they were backs against the wall, they've won both games on the road at Green Bay and at Buffalo, and they played really well. But I just don't see that offense is like a plodding offense. They had nothing going on. They should have beaten the Pats last week. They were up 10-0.
Yep.
And they just couldn't do anything. And then the Patriots offense looked really bad too, and they scored a touchdown on a Julian Edelman touchdown pass. This Eagles team just doesn't look right, and it's one of those things where it almost feels like they're tricking you into taking the Seahawks. Eagles minus 1.5. Like, it should be like a pick 'em probably. And the thing is, this game was in prime time and it got flexed to 1 o'clock, so it's a benefit to the Eagles with the Seahawks making a trip West Coast. However, the Seahawks were on a bye last week, and they're coming off their best defensive game of the year. Jadeveon Clowney had an amazing game against the Niners on Monday night, and the secondary did as well. I just think Pete Carroll always has his team ready. Russell Wilson, he always finds a way to win these games.
Yep.
I think this will be a close game. Maybe 20, both teams in the low 20s in the fourth quarter, and then Wilson scrambles to make a big third down pass, and then they win by a field goal or 4 or 7. It's one of those things where whenever you get Russell Wilson, it's similar to Aaron Rodgers. When you get the points, you always have to take them. But this is, I think, that a much better matchup for Wilson than it is for Rodgers this week, and I just can't see them losing. They got to keep pace with the Niners in the West for that first round bye and to win the division. And also, I saw a stat from Odd Shark, Joe Osborne on Twitter, that Seahawks are 9-0. I think 9-0 against the spread in their last 1 o'clock games and in their last East Coast games or something like that, 1 o'clock games. So the whole 1 o'clock thing doesn't really affect them, and that's because of Carroll and Wilson. So I love the Seahawks to win this week.
I agree with the pick, but that's not the one that I'm going to go with for my upset. I'm going to go with taking a big spread. So the Dolphins and the Browns are favored by 10.5. I think that's a crazy number, especially, yes, the Browns are coming off a win against the Steelers, but everything that happened with Myles Garrett, there's been a lot of controversy over there. I think this is going to be a close game, actually, and it wouldn't shock me if somehow the Dolphins sneaked out a win here just because of, everything going on with Cleveland and how they were in the news for all the wrong reasons again. And for whatever reason, I mean, last week I got burned by picking the Dolphins, but they usually are in these games, and they are usually pretty tight games. So I just really don't like that line at all for the Browns. I think it's way too many points, so I'm going to take the Dolphins plus 10.5.
It's funny. I wondered if you might take that because you took the Dolphins last week, and then I took them too, and it didn't work out. And when I first saw the line, I agreed. I said, this line's way too high, the Browns. But then the more I thought about it, and I saw some other people commenting on it, it's one of those games where it's almost, I feel like I get your logic, and I was the same way at first.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm actually gonna take the Browns only because I feel like it's. I mean, not that I need to tell you this, but I just feel like it's almost begging you to take the Dolphins. I could just see the Browns having one of those games obviously they don't have Garrett, just having one of those, the offense having one of their great games that they were supposed to have all year. I can see them scoring 30 points because the Dolphins defense is so bad. But I get it, 10.5. It looks like way too big a number. Last night I was watching Inside the NFL, and they pick 3 or 4 games on TV.
Right.
And then lately they do a spread. They never did that before. They pick one game with a spread.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason they picked Dolphins Browns, and they all picked the Dolphins. Brandon Marshall, Ray Lewis, Phil Simms, Judy Batista, and they all picked the Dolphins without even thinking about it, which makes me also think that it's almost so easy. It seems like such a obvious choice that whenever that happens, it makes me think, wait. Vegas is trying to play a trick on you. Browns are going to win 35-3, So maybe that's just me being paranoid, but
I see. Now you have me second guessing myself.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, all right, just to do a quick run through again. As for the Jets and the Raiders, Joe is on the Jets +3. I am on the Raiders -3. We're both on the Giants +6.5. Both on the 49ers -3. Our best bets are the same as well. Ravens -3. Joe is, for the upset pick, is Seahawks +1.5. And I am doubling down on my Dolphins pick from last week. I'm going with them again, Dolphins +10.5.
There we go.
All right, Joe, thank you so much for coming on with me again. It was a pleasure having you on.